Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Chat with AP. I'm your host, Amanda Pearch, and fellow curious mind. This is where we kick back, have fun, and dive into all kinds of conversations, whether it's business, life hacks, marketing, podcasting, or just a bit of random banter. Get comfy and let's see where today's chat takes us. What drives you, Cristy?
I think it's that heart of service. It is so fulfilling to pour into somebody. I was recently asked my favorite memory, and it really goes back to when I was a volunteer, when the food pantry was on site and people would come in to check in. I love knowing everybody's name. And when you greeted them by their name and asked how their husband was doing who just had surgery, and their faces light up. There was this one gentleman who would walk in, and he had the most beautiful smile. Absolutely loved it. And he would come in, and I'd go, "There's Mr. Laws, the best smile in the whole entire world." And he would just light up.
And show the smile.
Exactly, and show the smile. And it was just so fun and to get hugs and thanks. But I'm not doing it for the hugs and thanks. It's the natural, it's the seeing you have within you the capability to help someone else light up. I am Cristy Ferencie, and this is Chat with AP.
You mentioned something that is so profound. To me, it kind of sounded like you received the call when you walked in the door, and you mentioned that you felt so at home and you just knew that the place was the place for you. Mm-hmm. Can you describe that calling or that feeling of peace or knowing in your heart? Because it sounds like it is of the spirit to me.
Yeah.
And navigating that call is something that's new to me. So I'd love to just know personally how you knew that was it.
I guess I will say with the other nonprofits that I volunteered with, I had this mindset of I should do this. I should do this. This is the right thing to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it was more of a mental convince yourself that they're all good services, don't get me wrong, but it took some mental energy to pump myself up to do some of it. It just wasn't a natural thing for me. And maybe it was the areas of their service, but when I got to the place, it was something about the people, but it was, it's such a good question. Maybe just a sense of peace, and the work was natural. Like it came natural to my thought process, came natural to my heart, came natural to love on the people that walked in the door. It was easy, I guess, is the best way to say it.
You mentioned dignity, and that's so important in the worlds that we work in. And it sounds like the experience at the place is very modern. It's very modern, and it sounds like a wonderful experience. You yourself just touched on the people that come through the door that you interact with. How important is anonymity, and how does dignity play a role in the work that you every day with the organization?
I think everybody wants to feel seen and heard, and you can tell when they walk on the door if they felt that or not in their life, and they can be surprised when you sit down and talk to them, use their name, take the time to listen to their story, right? They've been overlooked by many, or, traumatic past. You never ever know what somebody's past has been and what their story is. And it's the training and the temperament to be able to give that time and understanding to what they're going through.
In order for you to give your best self to the people that you serve, what do you do, Cristy, to keep your cup full? How do you fill your cup?
I'll speak for myself personally, and then as an organization. Personally, exercise is my de-stressor. I work out probably 6 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week, doing something, just moving. That's important to me. healthy eating and sleep. I protect my sleep time and my boundaries. So self-care is very important. I also, I am a Christian. I have my quiet time. Really, I don't care where I am, an airplane, no matter where I am. Now that the Bible's on an app, I can take it wherever I go.
Yes.
So that is the other thing. That is a over exercise. If I have time for one thing in the morning, it's my quiet time. But as an organization, we really focus on, we do a lot of trainings in all different areas, but we recently did one on compassion fatigue because it is real. Hearing these difficult stories every day can drain you totally. And you do need to be filled up. So you need to be reminded to take care of yourself. And it might be on a particularly difficult day in the office that we have to go out and say to a staff member, you know what, you go use my office, go sit and have your lunch, have some quiet time away, or, work from home tomorrow. Just take a break. You need some mental time to recover and take care of yourself.
Very personal for me, but things stick. Things stick with me. Stories stick with me. And I think I'm experiencing exactly what you said, compassion fatigue or some fatigue of my experience.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd be very interested in participating next time if it's open to others. Sure. But to that same vein, because you've been in this world for longer than me, how do you, I don't want to say detach because I think that they stay with you forever, but how do you kind of just not have everything stick with you so that you can move forward and continue to serve, because we have to keep, the momentum.
For me, it's a matter of self-talk. Like I have to sometimes remind myself of what is in my control, what can I help with and what can't I help this person with? Because I can't solve all of their problems sometimes. I can't pay for an apartment for 6 months. It's not in our, nobody can afford that, especially here. So self-talk of, have I done everything I can do? And they have to have some ownership in their life too. I can't want it more than them. And you have to really do some boundaries and compartmentalizing. And that's self-talk for me personally as well. And I will tell myself, okay, you've done all you can do. Nothing left is in your control. They have some decisions to make. I have to be okay with that. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Compartmentalize, I agree with, but isn't that dangerous psychologically? And if if the description that you mean compartmentalize isn't, then tell me what you mean. Because in my mind,
I'm not sure
it's
I know the psychology terms.
We'll just put it to me, my compartmentalize is put it in this box over here. For you, what do you mean by the compartmentalize?
For me, it might be compartmentalize for tonight, and you can look at it tomorrow.
Okay.
But you've done what you can do for today. You personally need the rest or the break, or and then you'll go back to it tomorrow. Always easier said than done.
I agree with you, and I thank you for sharing that with me. I think it'll take some practice, and I admire the fact that you're able to do that day in and day out.
Well, what's admirable is your heart, and it's hard to. Yeah, when your heart grabs onto something, to let that go. Mm-hmm. And you'll have to find what works for you. And be careful of what works for you. I mean, we don't want to grab onto some addictive things that are not healthy for us. But for example, little things. I read it. I have to read before I turn out my light. And it's simply a way for me to totally shut my mind down on what might be swirling and focus on something else, so that my mind's on something else when I go to sleep.
You said exactly the term that I feel, mind swirling. And it's all at the end of the day, a culmination of all the thoughts. And only here over the past few years have I turned to reading at night. I used to watch TV and fall asleep, but it is a totally different world when you read rather.
Yeah. And don't look at your phone.
The light. There's so much that goes into that. Cristy, I have enjoyed our time together. Thank you for sharing your passion and expertise with our listeners.
Well, thank you for inviting me to come back. It's exciting to be here, and having now been in my role longer, I have the ability and the freedom to be able to come out and share my passion and love for what we do and help. And we are always excited to have you walk alongside us in this journey of helping our local community. And that could be your time, treasures, and talents.
Oh, you stole my line.
Sorry.
That's okay. So for those of you out there who want to get involved, visit theplacega.org. And don't forget that they have their 50th anniversary upcoming. All right. For those of you who enjoy or find value in this series, please leave us 5 stars because that helps other people find us. For my guest today, Cristy Ferencie. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Chat with AP. If you find value in this messaging, please leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. That helps others find us too. If you'd like to learn more about purpose-driven podcasting, connect with Amanda at amandapearch.com.